The President also mentioned that 75% of positive COVID-19 cases emanate from 6 metropolitan areas. One of those metros is Buffalo City in the Eastern Cape, and our politics editor Sbu Ngalwa joins us from East London, the administrative seat of Buffalo City. Sbu, good morning to you. Just paint a picture for us on what may be driving those infections in that city.
Good morning, Paul. In the Eastern Cape, the latest from the Eastern Cape is that there are 417 cases of COVID-19. And if you look at what the President said about how these urban centers were contributing to the overall number, in this province, the patterns are tracking the national trend, where you have Buffalo City as a metro here and also Nelson Mandela Bay as a metro. They also contribute about 78% of all the cases in the Eastern Cape. And where we are, if you were being specific to Buffalo City, here in Buffalo City there are 135 cases, but the majority of those cases are actually in this correctional center, East London Correctional Services Center, where 78 people tested positive. So that's about 64% of all the cases that have been declared here in Buffalo City, coming from officials, correctional officials, and also prisoners that tested positive. That's 78 of those cases. But what we have seen over the past few days, from the updates that we've been getting from the Department of Correctional Services, it looks like the numbers have stabilized here at the East London Correctional Center, because they've been standing at 78, with one person is being said to be having recovered. But unfortunately, the issue with the Department of Correctional Services is that they have centralized communication, which does not look good from a transparency point of view, where you have a provincial commissioner, but we are unable to access them to get to understand what exactly are they doing in this center, because the only infections that were detected here in East London were in the women's section, which is only a small section in terms of the prevalent population. We still want to know what is happening in the male section. Have they tested? That's what the Minister of Correctional Services and Justice told us a while ago. But also there's a bigger problem, Paul, that of numbers in the Eastern Cape, and that has nothing to do with my math, but rather with the fact that even the Minister of Health does not believe that the numbers tally up. He was in the province this week and visited the East London, and he went to other places, including Nelson Mandela Bay, and he came out saying that he's not quite happy with the numbers. He feels that there is not enough testing that is being done in this province at this time.
Now, so before we let you go, we also know that nursing unions like DENOSA in the Eastern Cape has also been very vocal about some of the numbers not adding up there, as well as the manner in which the province has positioned itself when it comes to dealing with COVID-19, saying that it's unprepared, and they've expressed a lot of their grievances around the manner in which their staff members are treated in hospitals, being barred from wearing masks, or some of the accusations that they've put out on the table. What do we know about the preparedness of the Eastern Cape?
Look, Mpo, the reality here is that the Eastern Cape has a historical problem with the public health, care, issues of shortages of doctors, issues of shortages of equipment, and not having adequate facilities. So what those complaints are actually are in line with what we know of the Eastern Cape. So we're not going to wake up suddenly just because there's an outbreak of COVID-19, and then you'll find that this province is suddenly all ready to be able to tackle that. We do know, for instance, some of the complaints, some of the issues that were raised by the health minister, I think has to do with the vacancy rate, high vacancy rate of critical positions. But now we learn of this morning that there is a position, a crucial position, particularly in Nelson Mandela Bay, that is being filled. I think that is that of a district manager of health. So you can see that the underlying problems that were there before the outbreak of coronavirus, those still persist. And when I leave here, because we're following up this story and going to various areas, I will be later on crossing with the mayor of Buffalo City to also hear what they are doing to actually turn around that situation, or actually to deal with it.